Okay guys, if you're now learning to ride, what bikes are you looking at getting for your first bike in 2023? Now, if you already have years experience on your belt, looking back, what would you get now as your first bike in 2023? Hey, what's up Squids? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video. If this is your first time here, I am Bull. And I make home movies around motorcycles. That would be everything. Installs, walk around, test rides, how-tos, all that good stuff I do. And welcome to the channel. So this is the new makeshift studio. So this will be my first video in this makeshift, what I have set up here as a studio, my YouTube studio. Now, it's riding season is about here already. People are out riding already, and I know a lot of you are probably looking for your first bike, and you're probably wondering what bike should I get. So I thought I'd piece together this video of what I would buy in 2023 if I was starting to ride all over again. These bikes are a little scattered because there's like a sport bike, there's two kind of cruisers. Well, a cruiser and a kind of a cruiser. Let's stick to a budget of about $7,000. So some of these bikes are going to be new, or you can get used. But we're going to stick with a budget of $7,000, and we're going to start with the Kawasaki 400. So why would I start with the 400? Because the 400 is a lower cc bike. So the chances of yeeting yourself into a wall are kind of slim. And this bike has also a more upright seating position. So this bike for newer riders has a seat height of 30.9 inches. So that's kind of approachable for like if you're like 5'7", 5'8", you can probably get on this bike and ride it comfortably. You may be a little tiptoey in some areas, but chances are you'll be able to ride this at 30.9 inches. It's in my opinion, it's pretty approachable because there are some bikes out there at 32 and get pretty high. And it has a ground clearance of 5.5 inches. That's pretty decent. We know it's fuel injected, and it has a fuel capacity of 3.7 gallons. Now, this bike isn't your touring bike. This is your learn to ride on for like maybe 6 months to a year. Because I find a lot of new riders, what they do is they learn to ride for the first 6 months, and what they do is they swap out the bike. So what most people do is they buy a used bike for their first bike, and then they sell it, and then they buy something better. That's what I did. That's what a lot of people I know did. But these are 2023 bikes, and that's why I went with these 2023 bikes, because you can get them for like around $7,000, pretty cheap. The last one, obviously, you can't get for that price, but I'll tell you about that later. So we're sticking with the Kawasaki. Now the bike is kind of light at 366 pounds, so you could maneuver this bike easily. If you're in a parking lot learning to ride, you don't have to be worried about it. It's too heavy, it's going to kill you like a big Harley would. This bike is 366 pounds, so you can manage it easily in a parking lot. And what else we got here? We talked about the cc's. It's 399 cc's, so it's not that fast. And it is 6 speeds for, like, let's say you're trying to hit that highway. Maybe you travel on the highway to work. Maybe you have to hit the highway. Maybe you're on some interstates or whatever. Well, you'll be happy to know that this has a 6-speed trans, so you can always set that 5th gear out and then run it into 6 for those highway speeds or interstate speeds. We talk about it being fuel injected already, so you don't have to worry about gunking up the carburetor for like if it's in storage. Maybe you buy the bike used. You don't have to worry about cleaning those carbs as much as you would have. You wouldn't have to worry about cleaning it, the injectors, as much as you would have to worry about if it was carbureted. Now, if you're buying this bike new from the store, it's going to cost you $5,699 new with a destination charge of $435 and a freight charge of $300. This would be one of my first picks for 2023, the Kawasaki 400 ABS version. My second pick would be the Rebel 500. The Rebel is $6,449 with a destination charge of $400 and a freight charge of $200. Now the cc's on that bike is 471 cc's, and it has a seat height of 27.2 inches, which is way lower than a Kawasaki. So if you, like, say you're 5'5", this bike is comfortable for you at 5'5". And the weight goes up a little bit because it's like in a kind of like a cruiser like bike. So this goes up into like 408 pounds, which is not that much. It's like what? It's like a little over 30 pounds heavier than a Kawasaki. This bike also has a 6-speed, and the fuel capacity on the Rebel is 3 gallons. So this is my second bike, a kind of like a cruiser. It's 27.2 inches, so it's kind of low. It's not too heavy at 408 pounds. It's not that terrible. The bike does come with LED headlights and incandescent turn signals. Keep that in mind. A lot of these bikes are going to have incandescent lights, but the headlight and the brake light are going to be LED. So keep that in mind. And my last bike, it's not going to be a new bike. It's actually going to be a used bike. No. This is my pick. Your pick would be different. Let me know in the comment section if you were getting a new bike today as a first-time rider, what would you get? But this is my last pick. And my last pick is the 1200 Sportster. It's a cruiser with a 1200 engine. So it's not like terribly fast, but it's still a cruiser. So that's why I would go with that. And it's a little heavier than all the bikes. It's 564 pounds. So it's a little heavier cruiser, but also it's a lower bike. Now this bike is 25.7 inches seat height. So practically anybody can ride this at 25.7 inches with a ground clearance of 4.4 inches. We know that Harleys aren't really meant for raking knee. You scrape peg, but you won't be raking knee on a Harley, or not even a Rebel. Now here's the downside with this Sportster. It is carbureted. It's an older bike. They don't make them anymore. They're only making the new ones now. And I'm not going to even suggest the new ones for a new rider, because the new ones are like $13,000. But these older Sportsters you can get for like $6,000, $5,000, depending on where you shop. If you shop on Cycle Trader, if you shop on Facebook. I don't even know if I would tell you to go to Craigslist. But at these websites, you can get this Sportster for like between $5,000 and $6,000. The fuel tank is the biggest one you can find on these three bikes. It's 4.5 gallons with a top speed of 110 to 140 miles per hour. But the other bikes, now I'm not quite sure of the top speed on these bikes. There won't be a freight charge or a destination charge if you buy it off of one of these other sites like Craigslist or Facebook. I'm not too sure about Cycle Trader. I don't know if they charge freight. Depending on if you go pick it up or if you have it shipped to you, there's going to be a freight charge. And the 1200 has a CC of 1195. Okay guys, let's quickly recap why I chose these three bikes. Well, one, the first bike I chose was the Kawasaki 300 sports bike, because let's say you want to get that sport bike feeling, but yet you don't want to still go too fast. Obviously it won't have luggage or any of that, but it would have a passenger pegs and a passenger rear pillion. So you get that sport bike feeling. If you're into sport bikes, you get that look and you get that feeling for the sport bike. And then the second one was a Honda Rebel. Now it's a cross between a cruiser and just a regular bike, I guess, because it's not like a Harley, but they tried to make it look Harley-ish. They tried to make it look Sportster-ish look. So it's like that Japanese cruiser type bike. So it's like that cross in between. So it's nimble, quick, light. So it's not a full cruiser. In my opinion, it's not like a full cruiser. It's more like a Japanese style type of cruiser. And the last one then would be the Sportster X, because now you're really getting into that Harley cruiser style bike. You can put bags on the sides and you got that low seating for that more Harley look. So this is your entry level into Harley. $6,000 entry level, because if you try buying a new Harley, well, then you're going up in price tremendously, like from $13,000 on up. Now, Most of these bikes you can get used, but the reason why I said new from the store for the first two is because you're a new rider. You don't want to have to be worrying about if the bike breaks down with you. You just bought a bike, it's used, it broke down with you, what you gonna do? Now if you buy a new bike, you know it's already new, it's gonna last you a couple of years, and if anything goes wrong, it's under warranty. A lot of these older bikes don't have no warranty on it. You'll have to pay it separate for the warranty. But a new bike, you get a warranty directly from the manufacturer for the first two years. So that's why I went with the newer bikes. With the Harley bike, well, you know you're not gonna get warranty, but you know, at least for some people that Harley status may be enough for them. So that's why I went with those three bikes. Let me know what you would get if you were starting today. Would you get a 2023 bike like the ones I mentioned here, or would you just go buy an older bike? Because you know you're going to change it in a couple months. Most people, when they buy a new bike, they don't keep it for long. They buy a bike to learn on, because you know you're going to scratch it up, you know you're going to drop it, you're going to break the pegs, you're going to break the levers, you're going to damage the handlebar. Most people do this stuff to their new bikes when they're now starting out. Maybe you're one of these bikes that just creak, and you probably won't damage anything, because I do know people that never damage their bikes. But most people, when they're now starting out, they drop their bikes. It happens to all of us, the best of us too. Maybe you may be one of these lucky people that it never happened to, you never drop your bike, and God bless you. But for the most of us, we buy these cheaper, older bikes, we learn to ride them for like 6 months to a year, and then we sell it, and then we buy something bigger, newer, more exciting from the dealership maybe. Sometimes you buy them used too, but most of the time you buy it for the dealership because you want that warranty and you want that new bike, so when you're ready to sell it, you could at least still get back something that trade-in or whatever. Alright guys, if you made it this far into a short video, I appreciate you. And I'll have a video coming next week. I am going to try to bring out the I'm editing the trike right now from Harley Davidson. I think it's the Road Glide or Street Glide trike I'm doing. I forgot which one it is, but it's the big one with the tour pack and all that. It's already shot. I'm editing it right now, but I wanted to take a break from that because of Easter and I want to spend some time with my son, so I figured I'll do this one because it's faster. I edit it a lot faster. I shoot it a lot faster. So I thought I would just do this one. Alright, if you made it this far into the video, guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate you watching. We can't do this without you. If you enjoyed this, if you found it helpful, you can smash that like button. If you care to subscribe. Alright, remember to keep your eyes on a swivel, keep the sticky side down, the shiny side up, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.